So, what do I got in the box? Well, this is a DJI Mini 4K. Now, this actually has a couple different reviews, but we're going to start off like there's going to be a review on this case. I have a extra battery packs that I bought for it. And then, the propeller guard or propeller protector holder thingamajigger that I got on here. But I have a few different things, but I mean, it's a nice little handheld drone. It's supposed to be able to, I have not flown it yet because I'm waiting to get my FAA strobes to put on it so I can do night flights and such. But it is very lightweight, compact, without a battery in it. It is supposed to be able to handle up to 23-mile-an-hour winds. And again, this is a DJI Mini 4K. Now, put that out right there. Take out the controller, which out of all the other ones that I've had, this one by far definitely has the most beefiest controller. That, again, you pull this out, put your phone right in here, and it just clamps in. And then it does have a data cable that plugs into your phone to keep the phone charged so you can have live video previews. Now, the one thing that I'm special. So what do you notice missing with this? Right here, the joysticks for the controller. I was like, well, where the heck are the joysticks? I'm like, well, they're not in here. I searched through all the bags, the boxes, and I was like, where the heck's the joysticks? Oh, yeah, they're at the very bottom. I'm a derp. So then, which is really nice because you just take them out of the bottom, which is very nice, convenient spot to hold them. And this does charge via Type-C, USB Type-C. So you can do Type-C to Type-C or Type-A to Type-C, whatever you want. There you go. Now I got, my joysticks. Now, again, I have not flown this because I am waiting to get my FAA strobe light in, because here is the thing. When buying a drone, this is speaking from personal experience, because this is my third drone. Now, you might be asking yourself, well, Ninja, what happened to the other two? Well, this really goes back to the you get what you pay for. My first drone I bought was a GPS blah, blah, blah toy drone that I bought off of Temu. They're fun to fly around. It didn't have any stabilizations. What a shocker. It didn't have anything that it claimed to have in it. GPS. The camera had all but like a 5-foot range on it. However far the Bluetooth would connect to it. This DJI drone has a almost 6.5-mile range for it. I have not tested that yet. Obviously, I would not feel comfortable flying this 6.5 miles away because this was a lot more expensive than other DJI drones or other cheapo drones. The second one was the Nafri N11 Pro. That one is about $110 on Amazon. And that one was nice. That one had 3,300-foot range. I'll give it that. It did have a decent amount of range to it. It did have its GPS stabilization, had the home, you could hit home and it'll fly itself back. It had a bunch of decent, nice features. It was a good starter drone. However, that one again had an error and it flew off. That's okay. So let me rephrase what happened to the first one. I decided to fly it. I flew it once during the day and it was like, okay, cool. You had to definitely keep an eye on it because there was no stabilization on it, anything like that. Okay. The second one, the N11, was, that one I could watch the screen and see what it's seen. It did not have a gimbal on it, so the video was, anytime you move forward and the drone tipped, the video would shoot up or shoot down. So unlike a DJI, it didn't have any sort of video stabilization with it. Again, that one was $109. The first one, literally went up to fly it, and it just was like randomly like, bye, and just flew off. Lost control of it. I don't know. It went that way. I don't know where it went. Second one, the N11. That one again, a cheaper drone. It was just like, hey, guess what? I'm going to disconnect and give errors mid-flight. And when I did connect to it again randomly for a second as I'm driving around the neighborhood, it's within a 2-block radius. Who knows where in a 2-block radius? It's rained. It's gone. But it was said it was trying to get home. It did have a tracking of where its last location was. I went into that neighbor's yard, asked him. He helped me look for it. Didn't see it. So the GPS was way off on that. Again, you get what you pay for. This, I know I've watched plenty of reviews on it. There will be more video footage coming up when I do start flying it. And I am trying to get my FAA 107 license so then I can use this commercially. So then I can use it for content and possibly make money off of it, because I do have enough camera equipment here that I do want to start doing this professionally. And this is a good starter drone. Now, when I say this is a good starter drone, you can get it for about $300. That's one battery, the drone, and the controller off of Amazon for about $300. Sometimes you can find it for about $250. Now you can get the Fly More combo, which is 3 batteries, this little case, and like a soft bag, the drone and the controller, for about $400 to $500. I got all this, the 3 batteries, or the 2 extra batteries with this intelligent case, which is cool because if I press the side button here, it tells me the charge state of all the batteries on a little screen here. So it shows me all batteries, well, except for the newest one is at 96. All batteries are at 100, 196%. So got to plug that in. Nice thing is that it all takes USB Type-C charging, and it charges one battery at a time. So when it does that, it'll start charging them, and it'll tell you on the screen what's the percent of charge. You know, it's really nice. It's very decent for being able to keep everything charged. You can also plug in USB-A and use it as a battery bank to charge your phone or whatever. It's just pretty neat. The drone itself, you can charge the battery in the drone. It does take an SD card. So unlike the other ones, this one does hold a SD card. I haven't really looked at how much or how big I can put the SD card in it. I'm assuming I can put a 128 gig SD card in it, maybe more, especially since it does record 4K drone, or it is a 4K, so that means that footage will take up quite a bit of space. But it is nice, sleek little drone, very lightweight. Obviously, it'll be a little bit heavier when you have a battery in it. Now, I did buy some lenses for different, like UV filter, blah, 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 for that goes snap right onto the camera. I did buy the waterproof case, which was about another 30-some bucks, 30, 40 bucks. Altogether, I have literally about $600 into this drone. I haven't even flown it yet. The nice little prop guard, which, you know, keeps the props and everything nice and protected while it's in the case, so that when they're not just flopping everywhere. I like that. Anything to protect this drone. And again, like I said, I'm not flying it until I can get this strobe light, which will mount right here via double-sided tape. And that's also fully rechargeable. It does come with a few extra props, little screwdriver kits. And then I also did get this bag of extra props just because, so, you know, you never know, because these are very thin little props. And if something happens to them, I don't want to be like, well, that sucks until I order more. You know, I want to be able to just be able to swap it out and keep going right then and there. So that's why everything is nice, fits in the case. It does come with a different types of charging cables. You got the, what is this one? Type-C to Type-C, that you can use it to charge the drone itself, or you can use it to charge the remote. Again, I use a battery pack charger But these other shorter little cables right here, these are for your different types of phone connections, because you have one that plugs into the top, which is going to be Type-C. And then you have Lightning. You have the old school USB type. That weird one, which I don't even know anything that would use it. I suppose a tablet, something. And then what I have in it is Type-C to Type-C, because that's what my phone is. And I just put those right on top just because. Why not? But then it's nice foam case. It is waterproof, dust-proof. Does close down, seal up, allow you to put some little locks in there. So that way then, you can lock it up. And it's a nice little handheld case for carry on. Throw it in your camera bag. And you're ready to go. Like I said, you get yourself a little battery bank, whatever, and you can charge up that little solar panel, have it charging while you're flying. That way then you're always taken care of. But that concludes this on the DJI Mini 4K. And then I will showcase the other accessories when I get them. I do have some coming tomorrow. Some of the accessories, like there's a sun shield that won't be here till next month. And then same with the extra lenses. Those won't be here till next month. So once I get those, I will do a review video on them. They come in a nice little case, supposedly. So we'll see how that works out. And I was tempted to order the prop guards for this, but I didn't. Everything so far, accessory-wise for this, has been very reasonably priced. Nothing has been too crazy. Even the batteries, the 2 extra batteries with the intelligent battery charger, I think that was like $70, $80. So again, you can get this, everything you see here, for a little over $500, maybe a little under $500. And if you're a content creator, what better than to have a 4K drone? Now, back to me losing a drone. This is why it's nice to have, and people will say, oh, just buy one of those cheapo ones off of Temu or wherever, the $20 or $30 drones or the $50 drones. It's a good practice drone. That is not a good practice drone. The N11 was a good practice drone. Granted, I found it between $80 to $164. The most common price I've been able to find it at was $110. Now, that was a good practice drone because it actually had you literally take it off and it'll hover there by itself. No drifting, it hovers there by itself. You can see what the camera sees up to, 3,000 feet away. That's pretty good for a practice drone up until it failed and was like, bah. I really am so cautious about this one. That's also why I'm getting the strobes, because it's a strobe light that lasts like 6-7 hours. So even if I do lose it and this drone decides to go bah, I will still be able to hopefully find it if it's stuck up in a tree, something. DJI also has a flyaway program that you can sign up for, that if your drone does go bah, you can actually sign up for that. And I believe what that does is basically you pay an insurance fee, you get a new drone. And I'm sure that fee varies on what type of drone you have. This one would probably be $100 to replace it. I don't know how that all works. This is my very first DJI drone. I have worked on them in the past. That's the one thing, is that when buying a drone, do not let people tell you that the cheap $20 or $50 ones off Temu or wherever are great practice drones. They are not. They are going to drift. They're not going to have the full GPS stabilization and autopilot features such as the couple $100 drones, and especially they won't be able to hold a stick or a candle to DJI. They are just, DJI has the most high-tech drones on the market unless you're building one yourself and getting into that whole custom market thing, you know, whatever. That's a whole different can of worms that I know nothing about, and I'm not even going to sit here and pretend that I do know anything about that. So, with that being said, if you want a good starter drone, from what I've seen on videos that I've watched and review videos, this is a perfect starter drone because, yeah, it's not cheap, but it's a lot better than going out and spending $2,000-3,000 on a drone and crashing it, which, believe me, I've seen plenty of people that I don't even know how they would live with themselves that literally are buying the brand new DJI Mavic 4 Pro, which I would absolutely sell my soul to get one of those, that are like $3,000 to $5,000. And then they're uploading pictures to the DJI group of, oops, and it's just completely trashed. They're like, I crashed it. It's like, how? How did you do that? I guess that's between them and their maker. But this is a good starter beginner drone. Again, I'll put the link down in the description for it and all the accessories that I have named here because, like I said, and I'll put the one for the N11. If you don't have $500 to spend, you know, maybe you want a good practice drone that still actually does have the GPS, the fly home features. It's basically it's DJI's autistic relative, distant autistic relative. It claims to be 4K. It's not. It's 720p video. I uploaded videos prior on my channel about me flying it. Night flight with the neighbor's drone, flight with the neighbor's drone, blah, blah, blah. Because it was the neighbor's drone. When he moved away, he's like, have it. And I did warn him about it. I said, these are kind of cheap drones. If it doesn't have this little, basically, in my opinion, and now proving it, if it doesn't say DJI on it, or it's not some custom built thing that you know that it has basically like DJI style tech in it, save your money. Save your money. Save up for it. You know, there's always options like Klarna, Affirm, whatever, so you can go out and get those really good drones to get yourself a DJI drone. That N11 did not have very good wind fighting features, which there was a slight breeze that day, so that might have been played the factor on why I lost that drone. Wasn't that much. The DJI does have claims that it can handle up to 23-mile-an-hour wind. I will never test that. I will never fly a drone in windy weather again. I don't care if it's a slight breeze. Won't do it. So, with that being said, if it doesn't say DJI, don't buy it. That's just straight up the truth. I will put some links to some cheapo practice ones that actually I have used, I have lost, for you to purchase if you'd like to. However, like I said, the N11 one, I don't know, that it could just be my area. If you're out in the middle of the desert or something, that might be even better. I don't know what caused that thing to go, because it was literally my third flight with it. I had a day flight and one night flight, and then that one during the day, and it was like, bah. So I don't know what happened to that one. But if you want to go out and spend $110 on a good practice drone with actual GPS, and you can watch where it's flying on the screen and everything, like on your phone and everything, cool. I'll put the link down in the description. It's the Navree N11 Pro. It's a good little drone. I'll put the link for this one down in my description below too, because again, this is a good drone. I mean, it's DJI. Not saying things don't happen with DJI, but they're less likely to happen with DJI than any other cheaper drone. Plus, I've seen the footage that this drone can do, and it is amazing 4K footage. So that is what I'm really looking forward to once I get my strobe. And I really do want to get my FAA 107 license, which that's about $250. So link in the description below, and link on, well, actually it's in my bio about where if you want to go donate for my FAA 107 license. Cool beans. I'll be a dirty little e-beggar, I'm not going to lie. Because I see that as a good job that I can work for myself. If I could fly drones and do photography for a living and make my bill money, awesome. Sweet. So anyways, on that note, I will talk to you all later. Make sure to hit that thumbs up, double tap that screen for those likes. Subscribe, unsubscribe, don't subscribe. Whatever floats your boat, and I'll see you all in the next video.